The pen is mightier than the sword, and one picture is worth 1,000 words. As you will see, both of these influential expressions can speak to the epic life of journalist and photographer Michael Patrick Collins. Mike was born to parents Rita and Bill Collins in Cleveland, Ohio on December 21, 1961. Many of Mike's most treasured friendships throughout his life resulted from his love of trains. While in Cleveland, Mike's dad took Mike and his siblings to the train yard near their home. It was from that experience that Mike developed his love of trains. At Southern Junior High School, Mike took an interest in both the clarinet and photography, but it soon came a time when he would have to make a choice. Either purchase a clarinet or a camera. He decided to set his course as a professional photographer. Mike taught himself black and white darkroom skills in junior high school. He worked on the staff of the school newspapers in both junior high and Tates Creek High School as a photographer and photo editor. After graduating in 1980, Mike entered Western Kentucky University as a photojournalism major and was the leading photographer for the yearbook and newspaper. He had internships in Jackson, Michigan and Jacksonville, Florida. He also worked as a freelance photographer for local newspapers during this time. Following graduation in 1984 with a degree in photojournalism, Mike found employment as a photographer and editor for newspapers in Clarksville, Tennessee, and later in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Mike kept pushing the journalism and photography envelope as he arrived in aviation journalism in 1987, becoming co-founder and first editor of the Southern Aviator, a regional tabloid. 6 years later, in 1994, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association hired him to be part of its internationally renowned AOPA Pilot magazine team, where he quickly became its managing editor. The magazine is the most widely circulated aviation publication in the nation. Mike began flight training and soloed in North Carolina, then finished his private pilot certificate in Frederick, Maryland, after starting at AOPA. For a story for AOPA Pilot, he completed a 2-week intensive training course and earned his instrument rating. Mike wrote thousands of articles covering a broad range of aviation-related subjects, from general aviation aircraft and equipment to pilot training and evaluating FAA regulatory policies and procedures. His commitment to exhaustive research supported his standard for editorial integrity and excellence. His leadership in educating pilots about the FAA ADS-B mandate and how to comply with it led him to be recognized as an ADS-B industry expert. Mike's voice was so respected on this issue that manufacturers sought his input, and the FAA uses his writing. His articles published over 30 years have and will continue to serve pilots and their continuing need for recurrent training and education. Subsequent promotions at AOPA were executive editor, vice president of diversified products, vice president of publications, technical editor, and director of business operations. He traveled extensively around the United States for work and hobbies, including craft beer conferences and riding, driving, and photographing trains. Mike was a member of several professional and philanthropic boards. He earned numerous recognitions and many awards over his lifetime. To quote Mike, photojournalism is all about storytelling, and aviation is full of great stories just waiting to be told. In February 2021, Mike was stricken with the COVID-19 virus. Sadly, he passed away after 2 weeks in an intensive care unit on a ventilator. He was 59. Western Kentucky University posthumously honored Mike in October 2021 with its College Heights Herald Award for outstanding contributions to journalism. When asked what he remembered about Mike, Todd Uvard, who had worked with him at the Southern Aviator, said, "Mike and I flew hundreds or maybe thousands of hours together in our sky lane. We learned how to fly formation and shoot aerial photos as a team. We had a modified 182 that we had removed the door, and Mike hung out the door to capture amazing images of airplanes and iconic landscapes for our covers. He wrote the copy, edited the writers, and built relationships with hundreds of customers, advertisers, subscribers, and everything else. He did it all under the influence of endless cups of black coffee and copious amounts of imported beer. We flew all over the place. We never missed a deadline. We laughed, we cried, we fought together like battling brothers, but together we forged a great product in a hard business." Mike is survived by his wife, Jeanette Prince, whom he met at AOPA in 1995, and children, daughters Jen and Bridget, and son Matthew. It is therefore fitting that Michael Patrick Collins, having accomplished life as a journalist, photographer, loving father, and husband, be enshrined in the official Aviation Hall of Fame of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.